Hi. This video is going to go over some of the things you might need to know if you want to participate in the Mecklenburg Audubon 2021 Backyard Bird Challenge to see how many species you can find in your yard this year or this coming year for 2021. So we're going to go take a little look at logging in if you've not used eBird before. It won't take very long. And then the key pieces here is that you need to have a location for your backyard, and then you need to attach that or sync that location with eBird's what they call yard list totals. So if you go out to eBird, which is just ebird.org, and then if you've never used this before, what you want to do is come up here and create an account. Click on that and enter your name. Make sure you use the username you're going to remember. This username and the password will actually be used for all of these different things. So if you've actually done Backyard Bird Count already, you already have a username and password. And I'm pretty sure that if you've been using the Merlin app and putting things in there, the username and password you use there will also work here. I won't swear by that, but I'm pretty sure that it will. And if you do Project Feeder Watch, the same thing, although we won't get into that. So set up your account, and then I'm going to go ahead and log in since I already have an account, and I have a password vault, so you don't get to see anything. All right, so now we're back here at the home page, and it says I'm logged in. And the first thing we need to do is set up your a location for your yard. And to do that, first go out and do some birding, and you'll get some numbers and stuff like that. And then come back here and then do submit. Now, you won't have anything here if you've never used eBird before. I have been using it for many years, so therefore there's a lot of things in here. But what I want you to do, if this is the first time that you're using it, or I should back up, if it's not the first time, then all you need to do, you don't need to actually do this part at all. If you've already set up a location for your account, your yard, then you can skip ahead in the video. But right now, what you need to do is, depending on what county you're in, I'm in Mecklenburg County. Oops. I look for now there are several Mecklenburgs. I often wind up in Germany periodically, but make sure you've got the right one. You see, there's another Mecklenburg County in Virginia. So there's several Union counties, or several Cabarrus, not too many Cabarrus counties, but there's a lot of York counties and so forth. So if you have those, you may have to scroll down and find your actual, the one for your state, for the state. So now this gives me, say, there it is, there's Mecklenburg County. Now, the easiest way to get to your address is obviously put it in 7. Okay, and then that's the address. And there I am. Now I do already have a, this is my yard location, but let's say I was going to do a new one. And so I would just hit wherever actually the first thing I would do is go over here to satellite, and probably it's easier to see your house and everything. So let's say this was really my house. So I would click here and this little icon pops up, and over here you can enter the name that you want to have in here. Now I'm not going to put anything in here. Well, I'm going to have to put something in here. So this is, I'm going to put in, and I'll get rid of this later, my house. Okay. And then I would say continue. All right. Now, this is the first time I'm adding something to my house yard. And oops, not for tomorrow. I can't do that. Not, it won't let me. So I put in the date. Now, normally, if you're out, on a bird walk or something like that, you would click traveling. But in this case, if you're in your yard, you're pretty well stationary. So it's a stationary. And then this other information comes up. So I can say, okay, it was 10 o'clock. I started at 10:10 a.m. And I watched for 30 minutes, let's say. And there was only me. But if there might be more than you and your husband or wife or whatever, kids, you can put the number of people. Then you go ahead and do continue. And then you put in the numbers, 3, or Canada geese 2, black vulture 1, Downy 1, Phoebe 1, whatever, however many you see. Now, remember when you're counting, if you see one chickadee and it flies off, and a few minutes later, another chickadee comes in, or chickadee comes in again, you only count that as one. Because you're not sure whether that's a different chickadee or it's the same one coming back. If you see 2 chickadees there together or really, really close together, you can count 2. For this count, you can, if you see a male cardinal one time and you're looking out, and the next time you look out, you see a female cardinal, you can count 2 for that because those are 2 different individuals. But in general, you don't want to count, you're not going to count that chickadee or that titmouse that keeps coming in back and forth and back and forth and back and forth every 30, 40 seconds or every minute or so, because that's more than likely the same one. So you don't want to count those. So once you've done that, gotten all your numbers in there, then you have to say yes. Don't ask me why, but just say yes and hit submit. Okay, so that is your first entry. Now, to get this particular location, which is my house, into the yard lists, you need to come back over here to explore. Okay, and you'll scroll down and you're going to click on yard totals. Now you're going to see, since I already have a yard list in there, you're going to see my list in there. So the first time you go in, it will ask you, well, there's my list, but let's say I want to add this other yard, another yard. Okay, so I'm going to go add yard. Then this is what you would do the first time because you wouldn't have anything there. You would just click on add a yard. And I can name this, let's say my Walker's second yard. I'm important. Now, down here, and it doesn't matter what it's just something, to identify and so forth. So here, when I do locations, if I type in now notice my house, so there it comes up, right? If it's the only if this is the only thing you have in there, it'll obviously come up right away. But what we did with the map is we created a location for my yard. Now we're going to take that location information and add it to the yard totals information. All right, and then I would click save. And maybe it'll work. It'll take a little bit of time. There we go. So now you see Walker's second yard. And I have 1 checklist and I have 5 species. Here, if I looked at my original, this is my over time, I have created, I have 177 species for my yard and that's lifetime. This is for the year and this is for the day or for the month. I haven't put much in this month. So you can see how this works. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that out since I don't really want that in there. So now we're back here. Now, the interesting thing right now is that if I scroll down, it says yard leaders, and I see Bill Hooker. I don't recognize any of these things. And that's because right now it is on North Carolina. So what's happening is it's comparing my yard stats with other people's yards in North Carolina. So if that be the case, I think I'm down here. I'm down here somewhere. Well, here's Christine McCluskey, who has 40 for her yard. I guess I'm up here further. Where am I? It's just for the, oh, I have to see it. This is for just the month. So I'm way down there. But if we were doing years and so forth, that's just the month. Now, the other thing is if I wanted just to see Mecklenburg County, I'd come up here and change this to Mecklenburg. And here I am. And this is everybody for Mecklenburg County that's on here. So Christine right now is, for the month, is up here. See, here's month, here's year. So there she is. Wayne has got us beat now at the moment, or at 109. And I'm down here under at 13 or 13th, but you can see the other folks. And then overall life, you can see where you line up as well. So you can see some people have been working much harder in their yards than I have been. But anyway, so, and then you can see their checklists and who has the most checklists and all that stuff. So that's, and anybody, you know, from anywhere can come back out here and look. So the idea is that you first need to create that location using the submit. Then when you come back, now you only have to do that yard thing once. So now the next time, tomorrow, when I go out, or when you go out for the next day, when you go out and look in your yard or watch your feeders, all you need to do is come here. And you would then find your location. So in this case, I'm going to click on that, and then I can actually type, and I will do farm gate. And so this is the one I actually use. I can come back in here and I can say continue, and I can say, let's say from yesterday. And again, I would do stationary and put that in. If there's a new bird on here that wasn't on on the yard list before, it will then pop up over. It will add this information into the yard list. You don't have to add anything else into yard list, into the yard total list page. Again, you can go and look anytime you want and see what's going on, but you don't have to go over there to add anything else. This will automatically transfer into that part, or that list, I guess is the best way to put it. So I'm not going to do that. I'll go back over here. So if you have any questions, you can either contact Patty or myself, and I'm just birdwalker@me.com. And I'll be glad to help you set it up if you need to. And hopefully that will work. Let me know if you have any questions. You're going to see, I'm on Zoom, so you're going to see the Zoom logo again. And when I stop sharing my thing, so don't panic with it. And I'm going to turn it off.